Hello there, how are you doing? And welcome to a video. Ooh, I haven't done one of these in a while. Sometimes I come up with some ideas that don't quite fit streams. They're too long or they're too bits and pieces-y and you don't want to hear 5 hours of me rambling. So I thought it would be nice if we did some videos. And today we're going to be doing a kind of fun character design sort of thing. We're going to be doing it around the Deacons of the Deep. Ooh, exciting. For those of you who don't know, the Deacons of the Deep is a boss from the game Dark Souls 3. And it's a mob boss, by which I mean it's just a whole bunch of enemies all coming at you at once. And there's, well, I say a whole bunch of enemies. There's basically 3 archetypes, 3 character models that they reuse over and over again. There's the small one, the lanky one, and the melty one. And I think that's a bit of a shame. I feel like they should all have their own little silly personalities because I'm like that. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take the archetypes of the small one, the lanky one, and the melty one, and we're going to design different versions of those archetypes. Just feel a little different, you know? We're just going to tweak the formula a little bit and see what we can come up with. I know there's also the Archdeacon, but we don't care about him because he's got a hat. He's special enough as it is. We're just going to focus on the short one, the lanky one, and the melty one. So yeah, this is just a sort of character design thing. Let's see whether or not I know what I'm talking about. I'm going to guess no. Righto, 20 minutes of doodling later and we have, hopefully, a good idea of what I'm trying to do here. You can see I've tried to make rough archetypes of how to draw each of the 3 types of friends, and I've just been sort of doodling around with them and trying to give them personality and stretching proportions, making shapes bigger, smaller, just seeing what happens, you know. Sometimes, you know, you go to the extremes, see what happens when you do something too big or too small. And sometimes you just, you know, put them in a pose, see what happens. Yeah, I think there's enough ideas here to be going with. It's just a fun little exercise, see what we can do. I feel like some of these feel like different characters, and that's all we're going for, you know? Just trying to make them feel different. Trying to give them their own little personality. So let's pick one and see where we go. Okay, so here's our first friend, maybe? This is clearly the schemer of the group, little schemer. This is Dominicus, and yeah, he's plotting everything, he's behind everything all. Like, there's the Archdeacon or whatever it is, and they've got the hat, but this is the one who's like, you know, lacing the communion wine with Aldrich's blood and all that sort of stuff. He's a schemer. I like to think he's a bit Dick Dastardly-esque in as much as he's a schemer and nothing he does ever works, but you know, I need to make characters endearing somehow. On to the next one. Number 2, this is Katurius. They make all of the robes for the Deacons, because someone's got to make them, and they're very proud of their work, which they should be. There's a lot of complicated weaving and stitching going on here. I don't know how it works, and I'm the one who has to draw it. So, yeah. Good on you, Katurius. I'm glad you take pride in your craft. Yeah. And the next one, it's Malvocio. Malvocio is the head chorister of the Deacons. I'm making these up, by the way. I don't actually have any plans. He sings. He does a sing. He's not very good at doing a sing, unfortunately, which is why he's the head, because no one else wants to sing with him. But he gives it a go. He also brings along his guitar, but he has been told he will be kicked out of the Deacons if he ever plays it again. But, you know, you got to have hopes, haven't you? Good luck, Malvocio. One day you'll get there. One day. Just, you know, learn some music theory. here we go, we've got two friends for the price of one, Extinguo and Ignatius. They are the ones who light and snuff out all of the candles in the Cathedral of the Deep, because there's a lot of candles to get through and someone's got to do it. I have the impression that Extinguo often doesn't know that Ignatius is supposed to be lighting these, and Ignatius doesn't know that Extinguo is supposed to be putting them out. But, you know, they do their job, they don't ask questions. So this is Sirius. Seriously? This is Sirius. He is the unfortunate one who has to collect all the wax for the candles. Someone's got to make the candles out of something, and someone's got to get that something. Unfortunately, he has no beekeeping equipment or wax collecting equipment, so he just sort of makes do. He's gradually realizing he's just turning into a candle, and that his clothes are becoming the wick, and this is probably not going to end well. This is Maximus, is proof that just because you're small doesn't mean you can't be tough. Strictly speaking, not actually a deacon. He was a choir boy that nobody could really dare to say no to, and he just took the robes, and he's now there. So, you know, aim high, kids. Also has the record for the most money gained for every collection plate, because, again, if somebody who looks like that gives you a plate and says put money in it, you're going to put money in it. And here we have Scripturius, literally the only deacon here who's actually interested in scripture. Everybody else is here because either the bonuses and the perks, or, well, let's face it, where else are you going to go in Lothric? It's all a bit of a mess. So, yeah, he's the preacher, he's the one who gets up on the pulpit and does the stuff, and he's not particularly paying attention to the fact that no one else cares. What is a deacon? Sorry, it's just occurred to me, I don't actually know what a deacon is. Like, I know it's something to do with the church, but, like, in terms of hierarchy and stuff, not a clue. Not a clue. Deacon is a member of the diaconate, an office of the Christian churches that is generally associated with a service of some kind, but which varies among theological and denominational traditions. So it isn't really anything. Okay, it's just someone in the church, I guess. The word deacon is derived from the Greek diakonos, which is the standard ancient Greek word meaning servant, waiting man, minister, or messenger. That doesn't narrow it down, does it? Church, make up your mind. What's a deacon? Do I have to deconstruct it any further? Okay, this is Schoenum, and you might not know it to look at it, but this is one of the melty ones. Schoenum was cursed at one point to have a permanent Chloranthy ring buff, and as a consequence had a lot of excess stamina, and as a consequence burned a lot of weight. But that would be fine were it not for the fact that they went for the melty build, and there's a lot of excess skin now, and a lot of excess clothes. The Deacon's budget does not extend to new clothes for existing members, so they're sort of stuck like this for a bit. You know, they're actually quite happy. It's just there's a lot of the skin sort of getting in the way. It makes them look sad. They're alright. They're doing okay. And this is Napoleous, easily the smallest of all of the small archetypes of deacons. They are actually very smart, and they are very mature, and they are a lot of things, including angry at the fact that everybody keeps making fun of them because they're small. Even the great tailor, whatever his name was, even he couldn't make clothes small enough for Napoleous. I don't know exactly how small he is. I'll work that out when I put them all together, but pretty small, pretty small. You probably don't want him to walk into the bit where the giants are because he might drown. And that would be a very unpleasant death. So this is Chadus. Chadus was transferred here from Lothric on a sports scholarship, and is thus far thoroughly underwhelmed with the amount of sporting opportunities that there are in the Cathedral of the Deep. But they're hoping, they bring their trainers along every day, and, one day he's going to convince somebody to set up a team with him, and then convince someone else to set up a team to play against. I think there was probably an admin mix-up. He was probably supposed to go to the Dragon University. That makes more sense, doesn't it? I imagine they can play some good sort of basketball there, given that their heads extend 30 feet. Or is that cheating? That might be cheating. Can you hit the ball in basketball? I don't know. I feel like Miyazaki hasn't properly explored all of the fundamental problems that arise if you try and import basketball into the world of Dark Souls. And this is Os. Os is... He took the teachings of Aldrich a little bit too literally, and thought that if he just ate everything, he'll become as powerful as Aldrich. And it turns out it doesn't really work like that. But they gave it a go, and that's all anybody could ask, apart from, hey, can you stop trying to eat all the candles? We're running out of wax. And the wax friend doesn't want to run out of candles, because that means they've got to get more wax, and that's an unpleasant thing to have to do. So stop it, Os. Jeez. And that's your lot. That's all the Deacons I'm drawing today. When you put them together, it doesn't look like too many, so maybe, maybe I'll do another one of these at some point in the future, designing some more Deacons to go alongside this happy lot. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Hope it was a good time. I forgot to mention why I was doing this. It's probably somewhat important. The reason I was doing this was basically I like designing characters. Designing characters is fun, but I'm not particularly good at doing it properly, by which I mean you should probably iterate your designs a couple of times before you actually go ahead with the project. And I have a bad habit of making a first draft and then just running with it. Anybody who follows my October and Company comics, they will probably know this, because the early versions of some of the characters are a little bit janky. I tend to do my character development out in the open, because I'm impatient to get things started. And I just wanted to crack at, doing some iterative designs on a base idea for a character, and I thought this would be a fun way of doing it. So I hope you enjoyed it, hope it was a good time. I'm quite happy to do more. This was a lot more fun than I thought it would be. So thank you for watching. Thank you everybody who supports me on Patreon. That's the reason I'm able to do these videos, because people give me a day off every now and then with their donations, and that's what I spend my time doing, something like this. So if you want to be a patron, you can be a patron, and you can get a bunch of rewards, like seeing videos like this early, and getting comics early, and seeing behind the scenes stuff, and getting onto the Patreon Discord, and all these sorts of things. There's cool stuff. You don't have to, obviously. Everything eventually comes out. Well, not everything. There are some patron-only videos that I'm making, but don't worry about that. Well, actually do worry about that, if you want them. I'm bad at advertising, if you noticed. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope to do more of this sort of thing in future. I've got a lot of weird ideas for videos. I hope people like them. And yeah, until then, have a wonderful time. Thank you very much for watching. Look after yourselves. Goodbye.